You see my screen?
Yes, yes,
Yeah. Okay.
I
Great.
see. Perfect. It's perfect.
Great. So today I will talk about the YTRB network, which is, as you said, a worldwide bridge to connect actually Tunisian scientists. So the YTRB, the Young Tunisian Researcher in Biology Network. So I will, yeah, I will just try to. Yeah, great. So just a brief background, actually, about Tunisia and the political investment in science and education, like since years, and especially since the official independence from France in 1956. So Tunisia had made a lot of investment in education and science, and we count as a Tunisian scientist and educator. We count about 30 university, 13 university, among them the oldest university in Africa, actually, and the Arab world and Islamic world, the Zaytuna University. And we count also 31 research center and 6 technology cluster. We call them in French technopole. And these data are from the Tunisian Ministry of Higher Education and Scientific Research, the MES. So, yeah. And within this institution, laboratory working on life and biotechnology science represent about half of all the research activities. And this percentage explains the important number of publications produced by Tunisian researchers the last decade in the field of biology. So we are actually the first country in Africa in terms of science production in the field of medical and biotechnological science. However, and unfortunately, actually, due to the political situation after the revolution, so recent non-official report qualified the highly educated Tunisian migration as a brain drain, especially post-Tunisian revolution in 2011. And this non-official report says that over 100,000 senior quite Tunisia since 2012, and most of them are doctors and pharmacists and engineers. So aware of this considerable role that Tunisian scientists diaspora could play in the development of Tunisia in general, and science and education in particular, the YTRB project was born. So the Young Tunisian Researcher in Biology, in biology, sorry, YTRB. So the birth and mission of this network, the YTRB network, actually the idea was quite simple, and it was about 5 years ago. The idea was to organize kind of international conference dedicated to young scientists. So a conference that young scientists organize, and also the conference, the speaker, the main speaker, they have to be a young investigator. And we decided then to organize a first international symposium of the young researcher in biology. It was in 2016. And what was new regarding this conference was that we fixed some rules. So only young PI can be speaker. These PI have to be kind of excellent and stars, let's say, in their domain, in their activity, and also both Tunisian and non-Tunisian should give talks. So we let's say fixed some parity here, and also we encouraged local Tunisian department to recruit young scientists as PI, because, and this is why actually this network was useful, because in the Tunisian law, within the university, we don't, until recently, we don't have the possibility to recruit young scientists as a PI, as a principal investigator. So only senior can be responsible of a department, or can be, how to say, or can be dean of university, or, you know, so only senior can be a professor. We call them professor here in Tunisia. So when we organized this event, the idea was really to pinpoint, to say that young scientists, diaspora, and young scientists in Tunisia can also be a good manager, and can be a principal investigator in the department. So we organized this event, and we invited like stars, young stars outside Tunisia. They were Tunisian, but also non-Tunisian, all of them working outside Tunisia. And we invited young speaker. At that time, they were not PI, but we tried, as I said, to really push the situation. It was actually, I would say, a big success, but yeah. So we had like over 200 participants, and this definitely put the event as a major scientific symposium in biology ever organized in Tunisia, because we had participants from Tunisia, but also from, you know, neighbor countries, so Algeria, Morocco, France, Italy, but also from countries that, I mean, it was kind of surprise at that time: New Zealand, Japan, Singapore, USA, because of the quality of speaker we convinced to be with us for this event. Here I'm trying to show you some picture of some prize winner, but also you can see here some participants for some conference. So after that success, we decided as a small committee to make the thing more official. So we launched we called here in Tunisia associations. We launched the official organism, the YTRB network, and it's mainly constituted by scientists in Tunisia, but also a diaspora all over the world. And we started in 2015. We were 4, and now we are more than 1,000 scientists all over the world. So what we do, actually, we, as I said, we try to, I have the word in French in my mind, pérenniser, so to make things renewable. So we organize international symposium, as I said. So in 2018, we continue and we continued organizing the thing. So the same ideology, young PI, stars, doing medical research and biotechnology. 2008, I said, and we had also a big success, a lot of participants, a lot of crazy and interesting speaker in the field of nanotechnology, in the field of neuroscience, etc. But also the importance of this kind of event is the networking. So speaker talk together, participant talk together, they share knowledge, they share idea, and they share opportunities. And due to the COVID situation in 2020, we postponed the 3rd International Symposium. It will be held next May online, and with the same idea, young PI trying to share good knowledge. At the same time, we do within this, let's say, international event, some debate about climate change, inviting also speakers that are not necessarily scientists. And here we have people working in the field of marine biology, but also we have ambassador. For example, we have here Olivier Poivre d'Arvor, which is the French ambassador of oceans and marine area. He was also the French ambassador in Tunisia from 2016, I think, 16 to 2020. So we try to convince diplomats to be, not with we convince already diplomats to be engaged with us for a key question, like the climate change and the Tunisian context. We also push for more networking between scientists, participants, and the diplomat here. And when I said diplomat, I would say not only diplomat, but a politician. So networking session also with non-academia, but industrial decider. And also how to say, also beside this, we organize an online conference event, like the diplomacy event we are doing now. So this similar to this, so online conference. We also, so I'm just here trying to show you some previous one that we organized, 2070, 2060, and recently about the coronavirus. So we invite experts trying to talk about the situation in a scientist but non-scientist also point of view to a citizen and to a normal people. We organize workshop to share knowledge, practical knowledge to the student, and we invite every time scientists and experts from all over the world. Soft skills too. So, for example, this one is how to plan and get a postdoc in academia. Several, as I said, several workshops. So, as you can see, this how to say it, this way to be very open to the worldwide and try to every time to invite people and to involve people from outside Tunisia, and also to involve diaspora in the local academian world. Is one of the key and is one of the main mission of the YTRB. And we organize also what I called a technology advance series. So it's not really a big symposium, but one field, one day symposium. And here an example of this technology advance series. It was about laboratory animal science. And as you can see, it's mainly academian thing, but little by little, the notion of lobby start to mature in our spirit, and the notion of bringing international collaboration to not only give talk, but to invest in our country, Tunisia. But before saying that, I will just also introduce another thing that we do, which is a science vulgarization. So we launched a series of prizes about science vulgarization, and we invite scientists, but also non-scientists, to vulgarize and to let's say to tell stories about science to a large public using media and press media, but also, yeah, it's another way to do science vulgarization.
Dr. Mohamed, no voice.
Yeah, it's only to show this a small video, a small video about a program.
I just wanted to tell you.
Yeah. Thank you. So it was only to show a program that I called YTRB interview series. So we, as a network, we invited every time a scientist and try to ask them a fundamental question: is science useful? And they try to answer in a basic way and try to share science and the love of science in another way. And it was dedicated to also large people, and it was like showed in a local TV here in Tunisia. So again, about pro-Tunisian science lobbying, the idea was, beside all this academian thing, how to convince investor and how to convince decider to invest in Tunisian science and locally in the university. So when we performed the first event, when we organized, the first event about animal science, we invited this charity, and it's called Draws Africa, and this it's an African organization that invests in this insect, Drosophila, to do fundamental science. And conference by conference, workshop by workshop, we finally convinced them, and we did it in a very successful way, to invest and to create an African center built totally by them. And as a Tunisian local, Tunisian authority, we how to say, we delivered the space, but they bring the material, they bring the formateur, the teacher, and we start this in 2019. We unfortunately had to make a break during the coronavirus, but hopefully after this crisis, we will continue building the center. So it's a center dedicated first to the Drosophila, a small insect, to do research in medical science, but also we will enlarge this to other small animal model. As you can see here, we are like putting, let's say, the material, and we start before the coronavirus, we start really doing things. Some picture, and here we start to connect the locality, the local Ministry of Health, the local Minister of Higher Education and Scientific Research, with all these people, and try to every time try to convince them about the necessity to make changes on how to deal with science and how to deal with research in Tunisia. And when you put all these people together, when you put all these decider together, and you put scientists and decider together, we succeed to make a lot of change, a lot of things. And I can here cite some rules that we succeed to vote in our parliament. And I'm very proud to see that now we can officially recruit a principal investigator, because, as I said from the beginning, it was non-official, the fact that as a young, you can have I forgot the word. You can have responsibility. Yes, you can have the responsibility within university. But now, after this law, as a young scientist, you can already be dean, and you can already be a principal investigator with your proper budget to perform your research and to perform your research. And this was also one of the success of the YTRB. We continue doing international collaboration with some international institution like the Mediterranean Neuroscience Society or the George Africa, as I mentioned earlier, but also with the African Academy of Science and the Honoris United University, which is also a network of university among Africa. And I will just finish with this wonderful map showing how the network is increasing among the world. So we are now more than 100 scientists connected over the world, and I wish that this number will increase. And I will finish by, yeah, it's another small video showing our logo with scientists among the world in front of different center and different institution in Tübingen, in Germany, and in Tunisia here. In the MIT, United States, and in a different city in the world. And this will be the last actually video for this presentation, just to tell you that when you connect people, you can do a lot of things, and we can start by a small idea and try to change just one law, but later you can change really the way to make things in your country. And I'm not sure if the video is. Oh, there is a lot of actually university and a lot of picture, but yeah. So I will stop here, and thank you for listening to me, and thank you very much, everybody.
Thank you so much.
I would be very happy to answer all questions that you may have.
Yes. And the first question for me.
Yes.
So, so you said that your networking accept joining from all over the world,
Yes.
and sadly didn't find anyone from Egypt. So can I join it now?
Absolument. We will be very, very happy to count you
so much
among us. Yes, thank you.
It's my pleasure, because I see you do a great work by networking in Tunisia. Yes, and thank you so much for your presentation. I want, if any participant want to ask question, please raise your hand, and I will hear you. If I didn't find any questions, we skip